ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا إنه من يهد الله فهو المهتد ومن يضلل فلا هادي له أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن سيدنا ونبينا محمد عبده ورسوله يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. إخوة الإيمان السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. My brothers in Islam, we give thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who has given us another opportunity to be here today, being the 9th day of the Jumada al-Akhirah, year 1445 after the Hijrah of Prophet Muhammed sallallahu alaihi wasallam from the noble town of Mecca to Medina, which is equivalent to the 29th day of the month of September, year 2023. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can this our gathering as an act of worship that is going to accept from us and use it as hujjah for us and not hujjah against us in this world and in the hereafter. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to continue to shower His mercy upon the noble soul of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his household, his companions, and we that were on his path. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue to be merciful on us. Today, we'll be discussing about the anniversaries, the Thanksgivings, the birthdays, and the festivals, and the New Year's that some of our people used to celebrate. We look at it from the Islamic point of view, with the knowledge that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us, and we are going to see if really we are also entitled to participate in all these activities. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us the opportunity to see the light of another day today, which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has denied some people. So our being alive at this point in time is not by our own worship, it's not by our own might, it's not by our own godliness, it's just by the wish of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah, we are grateful unto you. Allah, who has spared us from last year, He spared us till the beginning of this year, and He has spared us from beginning of this year till the day that we are now, which we have less than 72 hours for this year to ramp off. Majority of people will be celebrating that yes, New Year is forthcoming. New Year is forthcoming. Those that will live to witness it will celebrate. Those that will not live to see it will also celebrate. And all this is in the hands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ramadan is fast approaching. Probably it might be March 11, 2024. As the dead are also preparing, so also the living are preparing. Those that will witness it is only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that knows. That one is the one that is even of more importance to us that we should prepare for, not this Gregorian calendar that majority are preparing for now. And as we have said earlier, that there is nothing in Islam concerning a crossover night, that on the night of 31st till the dawn, till the morning of the 1st of the new year, there is no any speciality that is attached to it. Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam never celebrated anything. Even the Hijri calendar that belongs to we Muslims, which is the lunar calendar, it was established during the lifetime of Sayyidina Umar ibn Khattab radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. There wasn't anything like that during Nabi Muhammad. sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and that did not affect our ibadah because it's not having any impact on the act of worship that Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam has brought unto us. So also, celebrating a new year, choosing a particular festival in a particular year, imitating the kuffar, these are unwholesome acts or unwholesome activities that has no any reward in sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There are a lot of festivals, there are a lot of celebrations that they are innovations in our religion of Islam, not even in our social life. Like the Maulid of Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the person we took as our role model, Khatimul Anbiya'i wa Imamul Mursalin, he himself never celebrated his birthday. So, majority of people that are doing that now are doing it out of love, but it doesn't have any attachment to our religion of Islam. If you are still contemplating on that some of our believing Muslim brothers and sisters are celebrating the birthday of Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that the celebration is not any act of worship, doesn't have any attachment to Islam. If we are saying at that level that this is not going to have any impact on our deen, then what is the essence of the birthday that me and you we are now celebrating? It doesn't have any value. Fine, celebration of birthday in Islam is not an act of worship, and it's not going to make you to have a collision with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as far as you are not going out of the context of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We should all get it clear. Birthday has any value that is not, it has no value that is going to add to you, and it's not going to add any value to your religion. And brothers, I hope majority of us, we understood what we mean by bid'ah, innovation in Islam. The main bid'ah that we'll be talking about, or that we have known, are the innovations that affected our ibadah, that will affect your kalimatul musharraf, that will affect your Quran, that will affect your hadith, that will affect your mu'amalat, that Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam has told us to do. That if you do it, you are going to get reward. Those are the things that if you attach any attachment to them, those ones are the ones we call what? The bid'ah, the innovations. During the lifetime of Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, there wasn't an aeroplane. There wasn't anything like jeep. The most expensive means of transportation then was what? Was camel. So now we want to go for Hajj. You know that we want to start riding camel now from Nigeria. You will be there on the road. A journey of 6-7 hours. You are going to use number of years on the road. And your security will not be guaranteed. So for you now to deny yourself that flying by an aeroplane is an innovation, is a misconception of what Islam has brought onto us. During the lifetime of Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, there is nothing like an handset. There is nothing like television. It is the value that these things are adding to our life that will allow us to use them. If they are not going to add any value to our life, we should drop them so that they won't affect our what? Our ibadah and our connection to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. All these are just what? They are mata'ul hayat dunya. So celebration of birthday, it has no any speciality in Islam. And it originated from the Romans. They used to use that day to mark the sanctity of their birthday. Initially, they used to call it Saint's Day. Any day
that they are going to mark the birthday of some people, they will choose a particular day that a saint, somebody that they know, or somebody that they assume, or somebody that they acclaim that is closer to Almighty God. They will now call him a what? A saint. So any day that person is marking his day is the day that we now use to celebrate other people as well, to mark their birthday. So initially it used to be called what? A saint day. Before it now metamorphosized into what? Into birthday. And it's not even birthday, it's supposed to be birth date. Because the day you are being born, the day has gone. You might be giving birth to on the 12th of so month on Monday. When that 12th of that particular month will repeat itself, it might fall on Tuesday, it might fall on Wednesday. Does it mean that that Monday and Wednesday is the same day? So it's supposed to be birth date, not even birth day. So celebration of birthday in Islam has no any value. But whatever you do, if you do it solitarily, maybe within the confines of your house, without the things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said they are haram, throwing champagnes, taking different kind of alcohol, playing music, and celebrating nudity, throwing a party. There is no how you want to throw a party in the name of what? Party. That you might not go out of the context of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Party is quite different from waleemah. If you follow the waleemah qaida, you won't see a single drop of what? Alcohol. You won't see people celebrating stupidity. You won't see nudity. You won't see music. You won't hear music. You won't see musicians. If you follow what the waleemah is all about. But in party, anything can go, hurry. So if you are celebrating a birthday just to mark that day within you and your family in your house, fabiha waleemah. Some have even cultivated the habit that that very particular day, they will take all whatever they want to do as sadaqah, they will take it to orphanage. Some will call malams to come and do what? To come and recite Quran for them in their house. If you are doing all this just because of the environment we find ourselves, falabas. But doing what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, that they are taboos, those are the things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to hold us to ransom for. That is one. And today, you see the majority of monarchs celebrating birthday, even with their wife, display themselves on social media. Well-known and reputable monarchs. Birthday is not part of Islam. If you do it within your own home, it's not haram. It's a bid'ah that do not affect your what? Your religion. But if you commit any atrocity there, Allah will hold you to ransom. So wouldn't it better that you should not even do it? Because our Nabi Muhammed sallallahu alaihi wasallam was our role model, never what? Never did it. And none of the Sahabatul Kiram did it. That is number one. Number two, anniversaries. Maybe you are marking 10th year anniversary of your wedding. There is nothing haram in doing that. But it must be within the what? Within your confined area. If you do it just to re-establish the love you have for your wife, you can even take her to eatery. As far as you didn't go outside the context of what? Of Al-Islam. Fine, they are bid'ah, but you are just trying to use it to do what? To re-establish, to redesign the love you have for your wife. 10 years ago, I remember how you were. You were very skinny when I married you. Now you are obese. You see, you have really enjoyed my resources. You have really enjoyed my money. You can see I'm the one working. You are the one that you are getting fatter. All these words you are sharing with your wife just to show appreciation and love. You can do this. In the evening, you can take her out with the children. We won't cook at home today. Let's go for a barbecue. Let's go to a particular gallery. Let's go and enjoy ourselves. And we want to travel, we want to go for Umrah, we want to go into the moon and sun. But we should not go do what? Go outside the context of Islam. If you do that, it might be an innovation, but a social innovation that did not what? Affect your deen. Now, where we are having issues are the communal festivals. As I read on to us last week, Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he got to Medina, he made the Ansar that they used to have a particular 2 days that they used to do what? That they used to celebrate those 2 days. They will be off work. Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam now asked them. This hadith I'm quoting is in Sunan Abi Dawud. It was narrated by Anas bin Malik radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. He now asked them that, what are you celebrating? Which days are you commemorating? They now told him that during the Jahiliyyah period, when the Jews were here, the Yahudis, they used to use those 2 days to mark their events. The Indians, they have different kind of days that they marked. Even Mahatma Gandhi, who liberated them, they used to mark his own day every October 2nd. That very day, all alcoholic shops, all breweries, factories, or industry, they will shut down just to mark the what? The holiness of Mahatma Gandhi in India. Till today, they still do that. In some European countries, they used to do that too as well. Even in America, in Washington, D.C., they used to have a particular day they call Federal Day. They won't be working that very day. Here in Nigeria, like your independence, October 1st of every year, when you became liberated from the colonization of the what? Of the British, October 1st. Marking those days, what is the Islamic point of view? Like the Jews now, they used to celebrate Hanukkah. The way the Christians used to celebrate Jesus Christ on Christmas Day. We have discussed that last week, right? We used to do our Eid al-Adha. We used to do our Eid al-Fitr. Right? Our own is Ibadah. The other ones are not what? They are not Ibadah. Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam now told the Ansar and those that are residing in Medina that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has chosen 2 better days and 2 better festivals that is better than the 2 days that you are marking. And which days are those days? They are the days of Eid al-Fitr and Eid al-Adha. And these are Eid al-Fitr and Eid al-Adha, they are Ibadah. So if you are talking about festivals, all these carol, all these carnivals that they used to do, go everywhere now, including Muslim houses. They say they are celebrating carnival, which is forbidden to we Muslims to do. The only Eid, or the only Eidain that we are supposed to do are what? They are Eid al-Adha wa Eid al-Fitr. That is what Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam told the companions, that this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has replaced for you. Towards what? Towards the day of those days that you used to celebrate during the Jahiliyyah period. Apart from this, any other festival is an act of what? It's an act of innovation. Even in your family, if they have a particular shrine that they used to worship every year, if you participate in that, you have gone outside the context of Islam, and you become a what? An innovator. And Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us that wa kullu bid'atin dolala, wa kullu dolalatin finnar. But today, where they are doing carnival, where they are doing festivals, you will see a reputable man is one that even do the opening prayer. For 5-6 months towards that, they will be the one, they will say, that the anniversary or the festival of the masquerade that they want to celebrate this year, may Allah let it meet them. May Allah let it meet them alive. A chief imam, a reputable scholar in this our contemporary society, a alim, a dai, I've quoted an hadith to us that Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us that at the end of the day, you see our malams, our hufas, our qurra, they will turn to nothing else other than the death that is flowing on the flood of rain or flood of water. With their Quran, with their hadith, with their fiqh, with their everything that they have, they won't have any value. They will just turn to those rubbish that the rainwater used to carry after the rainfall. Because of what? They want to dine with the classical people. They want to sit with the president. They want to be in the midst of the senator. They should ask, who is that? Is the Afar, is the Imam in the house of so senator. So, celebrating festivals that are not the Eid al-Fitr and Eid al-Adha is makruh, because there are musta'ab, there are wajib, there are makruh in Islam, and there are sunnah. What we call, and there is what? There are haram. Things that are haram, if you do them, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala definitely will chastise you. Makruh, if you don't do them, that means Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be levity on you. Faridu is wajib, is compulsory, you must do them, like our khamsu salawat. They are compulsory and we must observe them. Qiyamul layl is mustahab. If you like, you observe them. If you don't like, you don't observe. It's at your own discretion. So annual festivals in Islam that are not Eid al-Adha or Eid al-Fitr, they are not welcome. So those of you that you have contributed for the carnival they want to do in your street or in your clothes, it's better you go and collect your money, retrieve your money back. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to ask you. And Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us that Allah said, Al-malu mali wa jannati jannati fastarul jannati bimali. The money I've given you is my money. Use that money to buy what? Al-Jannah. So if you refuse to use my money that I borrowed you, I gave you, despite the fact that I gave you, I lent you the money. I lent you the money. And I want you to use the money to do what? To buy Al-Jannah. Why are you using your own money to buy hellfire? Is there anywhere they are going to do carnival? They are going to do Christmas carol. They are going to do New Year. They want to do crossover night that they won't drink, sip. Don't let us say drink. That they won't sip alcohol or sip something that they or sniff. And it's part of the money that you have contributed. So on the day of Qiyamah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will hold you to ransom. That is celebrations. Celebration we have to celebrate in Islam are the Eid al-Fitr and Eid al-Adha. Now, we are talking about Thanksgiving. In some society, there has to be Thanksgiving. All this is a kind of message that will be used to pass across, maybe in your places of work. Maybe you are retired, or you are exempting, or you are exiting from the company. They can do a Thanksgiving for you. Or you yourself, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you with something, you now go to the masjid. You say, you want to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's a Thanksgiving. Or you made an oath, al-Iman, that we have discussed. That Allah, if you give me this contract, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I will go to Hajj to go and perform the next Hajj. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow you to get the contract of 1 billion naira. You are asking for 500 million naira, but Allah gave you the opportunity. They times the contract for you. So when you now come back from Hajj, you now call people, come and play, come and supplicate for me. I'm doing Thanksgiving. Because Allah has done what? Has been benevolent to you. That one is halal in Islam. As far as you didn't do beyond what Allah asked us to do. Allah, if you give me a child, I'm going to dedicate that child to you. I will allow you to go to Islamiyah. I will allow you to become a mufti. Allah will ensure that the guy will be channeled on the right path. And Allah now gave you that. After giving you, you now call for a Thanksgiving. Those are the kind of Thanksgiving we can do. or successfully you retire from service, you now gather people together to come and help you to do what? To thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is a thanksgiving. All this, as far as we didn't bring elements into the gathering, the elements that are forbidden into the gathering, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not hold us to it. But let's know, there won't be any reward for this, because they are not part of what? They are not part of our ibadah. I hope you are getting it. Now, memorial activities that you want to remember. Maybe your father that has died 1 million years ago. Yorùbá wa èyí tẹ́ mọ iye yìí òkú padà. Ní ọmọ ibi tó kọjú sí tẹ́fẹ́ yí padà. The òkú you face, the cause you face, al-Qibla at time al-Qiyamah. Now you don't say you want to turn the back. You are turning the back from Qibla. You are turning it back to Qibla. And Quran has already told us that فَأَيْنَمَا تُوَلُّوا فَثَمَّ وَجْهُ اللَّهِ is not in relation to ẹ̀yìn òkú tẹ́ yí padà nù sáré. You now call malams. They will not eat. You will not put asoebi. All these will not have any reward. Because Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, if you want to remember our late ones, at every point in time, wherever you are, you should remember them. I remember my father today. Bismillah. Not until you gather people to come and sit down that this is the 10th year that I lost my dad. I want to do the remembrance of my father. Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not do this, and it's not haram for us to do it as far as his prayer. But will Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward us for that? Because Nabi Muhammad, whom Allah said he has perfected the religion for him, has told us how we are supposed to what? How we are supposed to do it. So memorial activities in remembering of our late ones. The reward that we can gain from that is only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that can say it. There are a lot of ahadiths that are fabricated ahadiths that will say, yes, iramu abuatakum bi du'ai wa sadaqah. Malas will be quoting that for you. But what is the validity of that hadith? A similitude of hubbul watani min al-iman, that you loving your town, you should love your town, is part of iman. It's an hadith. But did Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that even in your town, that the best thing that they do in your town is masquerade activity that they are practicing, and you are supposed to love that town as well. The time that the whole of Mecca was encompassed with the activities of the Abu Jahl, Abu Sufyan, Uqba ibn Abdul Mu'id, when the activities of their idolatry was rampaging Mecca, then when Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said he will love that particular community with their activity, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was preserving him till the time he was supposed to exit from that town. And when he was going, Allah said, yes, I'm the one that asked you to go. Because he was not happy. Allah said, la uqsimu bi hadhal baladi wa anta illun bi hadhal balad. Lallai kai dan gari ne. Oh, King Shomale, you are not a bastard in that town. It's your town. But what they are doing is not what we want them to be doing. Go out. So, if what they are doing is good, will Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ask Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to go out? So, our malams, some malams are now quoting to you that you should love your town. Yes, we should love our town. Every one of us. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us, let's go back to our villages, establish factories, establish industries. We should build our personal buildings so that you can retire to your villages. Those are the laws. It doesn't have any impact in what? In our iman. You have money now, you see that the business that is booming now is hotel business. You use your money to establish or to build an hotel in your village, and you know in an hotel, how do you want to preserve it that they will bring a shower to your hotel? As a Muslim, let's check. If you have good intention that I want to preserve this for Muslim community, what about the people that you put in the business? Will you always be there every time? Is the CEO always in the company? Is the MD always in the company? Is the director of the company always there? You have some subjects that will be managing the affairs of the company. And anytime they bring in an harlot, they bring in a prostitute, you will gain one reward from that. Because you are the one that used the money Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave you to build a hotel. And now in the hotel, in the money that you have established, you used to establish a what? A hotel. They are now sleeping with another person's wife there. And it's your investment. You are the one that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will ask. So every one of us, any business you want to do, you have to go and seek for the knowledge of what is the implication of this business. Not just that I just want to tie my money down. Hotel business is booming very well. If you use 10 million to construct an hotel, in the next 2-3 years you are going to get the return of your investment will be 20 million. Yes, you can get it, but what about the account inside of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Brothers, memorial events, they are not act of worship. But if you do them within yourself, they are not haram. As far as you didn't go outside the context of what? Of what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us. The way some of our Muslim brothers used to do the memorial remembrance of Nabi Muhammed sallallahu alaihi wasallam every year in the name of Maulidin Nabi. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive every one of us. These are the festivals. These are the anniversaries. These are the thanksgivings. These are birthdays that we have spoken about. Now, concerning the new year, I've discussed previously how the alteration or alternation of the days and nights. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us in Quran, Surah Yasin, وَالشَّمْسِ تَجْرِي لِمُسْتَقَرٍ لَهَا ذَلِكَ تَقْدِيرُ الْعَزِيزِ الْعَلِيمِ وَالْقَمَرَ قَدَّرْنَاهُ مَنَازِلَ حَتَّى كَعَدَ الْأُرْجَانِ الْقَدِيمِ لَا شَمْسُ يَنبَغِي لَهَا أَن تُدْرِكَ الْقَمَرَ وَلَا لَيْلُ سَابِقُ النَّهَارَ وَكُلٌّ فِي فَلَكٍ يَسْبَحُونَ. What is to lead to the day and night? Waduha is there. Wal-layli iza sajja is there. Washamsi waduhaha. They are all there. All these chapters, they are talking about what? Day and night. Scientifically, geographically, I have explained this when we started this year, the first Muharram. The rotation of the earth, the rotation of the sun around the earth, the revolution of the sun, how all of them make their 24 hours, how they make their 7 days, how they make their 8 days, how we get our lunar year and leap year. I've explained everything which I won't go back to. How the day and night is being formed. Why some days we have a longer days, what we call solstice, and what we call equinox, concerning the longitude and latitude of the globe. I've explained all this. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala now told us, وَالشَّمْسُ تَجْرِي لِمُسْتَقَرٍ لَهَا ذَلِكَ تَقْدِيرُ الْعَزِيزِ الْعَلِيمِ. The sun will be running. The sun, where it is now, the intensity of the sun that is getting to us is like a journey of 500 years. This sun that is heat is touching our body, touching our head. Where it is now, it's not in the heaven, it's just inside the sky. Because the heaven is very far away from here. When we are talking about Al-Isra'i wal-Mihraj, we have talked about the distance of the heaven 1 to heaven 2, and from heaven 1 to the earth that we are. We have discussed that. The sun, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said it will be running in its own orbit. It has an elliptical orbit that it will be running because it wants to go and set. And any day the sun set finally, that is the day of Qiyamah. So all this setting that we are talking about, sunrise and sunset, the moon comes out, we are just using it to calculate the number of days we are using on this earth. But the day that it will cease functioning, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَالشَّمْسُ تَجْرِي لِمُسْتَقَرٍ لَهَا ذَلِكَ تَقْدِيرُ الْعَزِيزِ الْعَلِيمِ. It will be running around its orbit to complete a particular revolution. One Qamara, the moon, also they will be alternating each other. When it is in the next few hours now, this sun will go and set for a day. The what? The moon will take off from there. The moon will walk throughout the dusk and till the dawn. And two of them will now cease. Before the sun will now come out again. They must not meet. If they meet, there is going to be an eclipse. They must travel in their own particular alignment. Even if they are around each other, this one must go on its own alignment, this one must go on its own alignment. They must not meet. If they meet, Al-Qiyamah has come. Allah said all this, you are using it to count the number of days. So this will now generate to the Gregorian calendar. We have talked about the Hijri calendar. How we have our Muharram, Hurimati alaykum kitab, As-Safar, Tasfiru Diyar, Rabiul Awal, Rabiul Sani, Jumada al-Awal, Jumada al-Saniya, Rajab, Rajaba, Sha'ban, Tasha'ubun Naqa, Ramadan, all these. I've explained all this when we started Muharram. Now, the days we are having, that some people used to celebrate, there is nothing haram in following the Gregorian calendar. And this calendar was chosen by Pope Gregory I in the 16th century. We are in 28th century now, right? It was in 16th century that Pope Gregory I changed the calendar to Gregorian calendar. That we used to now have the solar calendar that we are using. The Roman Empire, they are the one that were using this calendar right from the inception of the world before we now go to what? 16th century. And then, each particular day, they have activity that they used to do. Like the sun. The Sunday that we have, it used to be the day that used to what? Worship the sun. In French, they call it Sonntag. That is the particular day that they worship the sun. This sun that me and you we are seeing now, and we are feeling the impact on our body. That is the day that they used to what? They used to worship it. And they also worship the sky. So that particular day is the day they call Sunday. The following day is the day that they used to worship moon, Moontag, that they call Moon Day. This is how these names start generating themselves. Tuesday, that we are calling Tuesday. It is the day that they used to worship the god, a pagan god, that they call Tim. And the day they worship him, or the day they worship it, is the day they call Tuesday. Wednesday, they call it Wednesday, that we call Wednesday now. Wednesday, that's what majority of us used to call it. It used to be Wednesday. It is the wooden day, the god of the god. Wooden day is the word of the god that they used to worship. Thursday is the thunder's day. We all know thunder that used to strike. That is the day they used to worship thunder. Friday, they see it as a prayer. The day they need to share love within themselves and share love with everybody that is existing. That's why they call it Friday, and they see the same day that they used to worship the Venus, one among the planets. You know, we have 7 planets. So Venus, they used to worship Venus on Friday, and they believe that that very particular Friday is a day that they used to what? To share love among everybody. And Saturday used to be a Saturn day. Saturn is also a planet. We have Mercury, we have Jupiter, we have Uranus, we have Pluto, we have all that. So Saturday is the day they used to worship Saturn, and they worship that Saturn as a god, and god of what? God of agriculture. This is their belief. The Romans. Then, this is how they have their what? Their 7 days. Now, these 7 days now come. We are calculating it. They are calculating it. They are calculating it. This Saturday finished. The first day of the month used to be what? Used to be Sunday. Not Monday that we used to start our work. Okay. The first day of the week used to be Sunday. So they've run throughout Sunday to Saturday now. Now, we have a repetition of this particular 7 days 4 times in a month. The first month before used to be March. March used to be the first month of the year. before Julius Caesar. Julius Caesar is the one that now came and said, no. We need to do something. And January used to be the god that has two faces that they worship. They call him Janus. I'm telling you all this, how you can see or to share with us or to improve what we have learned or what we have known before concerning this particular new year. So when you understand this, you now know within yourself, maybe it's a year that you're supposed to celebrate or not. The January that you are going to pick on Monday now is a god that they used to worship in Roman Empire in the olden days. And it has a two faces facing two different directions. And it has two doors. If you see the status, if you see the image, you see it with two heads and two doors, and they are all facing different directions. The face that is facing left, one face is facing left, indicating the past. The other one facing right, indicating the future. And the two doors that are there, indicating either you enter or you go out. That is January. That is Janus for you. February. They see February as February. They see it as February. February means the period of forgiveness and purification to their belief. Then March. They see March as the time that they need to worship the Mars. Mars among the what? Among the planets. And they also see it as the god of the gods, not our own God. You know our own God now, if you want to write it, you want to spell it, we use capital letter G. Any other God aside that we do what? We use what? Small letter G. So the God that they are worshiping, the pagan God before Christianity, before the liberation of the missionaries, the pagan God that they are worshiping, the God of those gods, is the God they worship in March, and they call it Mars. In April, they call it Aprilis. The French, they call it Aprilis before they now reintroduce it back to become what? April. It is the month that they believe that the winter has gone, the spring period is setting in gradually. That is, they are trying to approach the what? The summer period. Gradually. So that is when the flowers will now be coming out. They will now be germinating very well, and they will be spreading their what? Their leaves. Those are the time we farmers. Those are the time we also used to target. Because that's period when majority of the plants on the farm, they used to germinate very well, the setting time, the setting in time. That is April. May, they see May as the mother goddess of all the what? All the gods. That all the gods that they are worshiping, the mother that gave birth to all the gods, is in May. Then in June, they see June as a month that they need to worship a particular planet that is called Jupiter. In June. Then in July, they call it Quintilis. And that is the month that Julius Caesar that I mentioned. He was the one that proposed that March should be the what? The first. March used to be the first month, right? That they need to add additional what? Additional months. So that means we used to have 10 months before. So the addition of January and February now make it 12. And it was initiated and originated by what? Julius Caesar. I hope you are following. So that we can know the new year that you want to celebrate, if it's worth it. August is named after a particular man called Augustus Caesar. He also a pagan god that they used to worship. Sept, the remaining 4 months, September, they call it Sept. It's a particular god. October is a particular god. They call it Octo. November, they name it after a god called Novem. And December, they name it after a god called December. And all these, they are pagan gods. Brothers, me and you, do we need to be worshiping them? Do we need to be celebrating them? So those of you that used to mark the Gregorian calendar every year, that you are celebrating New Year, you are doing crossover night to the 1st of January. These are the people that you are celebrating. And whoever celebrates them has done what? Has associated a partnership with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said we should not imitate anybody. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive every one of us. Conclusively on this part, are we also allowed to imitate the non-believers that do not believe in what we believe? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Holy Quran, وَلَا تَسُبُّوا الَّذِينَ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. Those that do not believe in what you believe, don't imitate them. In the olden days, there used to be a particular cap called Taymiyyah. During the Jewish period. So like a century after their existence, came on board one of our reputable scholars called Imam Toyalisi. Imam Toyalisi came after 100 years that the Jews had used that what? That particular cap. So Imam Toyalisi too used to wear that cap. To the extent that they now gave him a nickname of what? Imam Toyalisi. Does that mean that imitating the Jews because of their cap has affected his what? His ibadah and his deen? No. Anywhere we are living, whatever they are doing that is good, we can emulate it. Even culturally from our culture, they also have their own culture. And what is culture? In social studies, they say culture is just what? A way of life of particular group of people. You can emulate them if they are things that they are doing that will not what? That will not allow you to fall into the pit of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yoruba people, in their mode of dressing, they will put fila ofi. Yoruba people are the one that has ofi. These local fabrics. And they will wear buba, abisanya or sokoto and sokoto. But in the north, they will put tajia. Yoruba, their own cap is not the cap that you take to Meguga to put starch for you. It is the northerners that used to do that. You give the Malan that used to wash cap 300, 500. I think washing one cap now is 500 naira. Yoruba one is just all this fillet to fillet. You just wash it and dry it and you iron it and wear it. But in the north, they will put babariga. Yoruba people will put sapara. Ati fila beti aja. If you see it on any Hausa man's head, that means that Hausa man has emulated what? The Yoruba people. That cap that used to be like the ears of a dog. That is the cap we call fila beti aja. It's not for the northerners. It's for the what? The southerners and the westerners. So if an Hausa man is residing in the south and he now wear that, it is not haram. It's an imitation of something good that he has taken from the cultural activities of the Yoruba in the south. It doesn't have anything to do with his deen. So also, people living in the east, they even marry there, marry from there, marry Chinyere, marry Chidima and Chioma. Is it haram for you? It's not haram. Because you find yourself there, and maybe you didn't see Talatu, you didn't see Zuera, and you didn't see any Yabo or Moyatike that you want to marry. You marry Chinyere because you can't find those that you want to marry, but you must revert her to what? To Islam. Our culture did not have anything to do with what? With your ibadah. Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it's not all his wives that are from Mecca. It's not all his wives that are from Medina. Mariatu Kibuti, she was a slave from Egypt. and all the Anbiyaullah, not all of them, very scanty number among them were Arab. There are some that are from Africa here. Nabi Adam alayhi salamullah wasn't an Arab. So when we are talking about imitation, another example, like the Yoruba people now, the best of their food is iyán, pounded yam with eforiro, abi egusi, and ikanu, kayan chiki. Those are the kind of food, palatable food that Yoruba people used to like. Abi amala to gbona feli feli. In the north, tuwo masara, da miyan kuka, ko tuwo shinkafa, a tuwo shinkafa ya masu kudi ne suke ci. Amma ku talakawa haka tuwo masara ko tuwon dawa ko tuwon gero muke ci. Da miyan taushe. Abincin mu kenan. Mu talakawa ne sa mu ma mu zama mutane kore mu mai kudi insha Allah. Mai kudi halal fa, ba masu kudi haram ba insha Allah. So any Hausa or any Yoruba man that now cultivate the habit of cooking that in his own house with his family is a good imitation which doesn't have any impact with your deen. So whatever we want to imitate, from whomever we want to imitate, we should be very careful. It shouldn't be something that we now connive us with our ibadah. So imitating people religiously is not haram. But we must know what we are imitating from them. I hope we have gotten it. We have spoken about anniversaries. We have spoken about festivals. We have spoken about Thanksgiving. We have spoken about birthdays. And we have spoken about the New Year. I've explained what this New Year is all about. The way I did for Hijrah. So it's now left to you and me. If this forthcoming 2024 New Year is something you need to celebrate, the ball is now in your court. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive us and let us all end well and grant us al-Jannah to Firdaus. Wala hawla wala quwwata illa billahi al-aliyyil azim.